TD Jakes right here. In fact, I just did a video where I'm talking about, how much I love TD Jakes. And, I wanted to kind of go into a thought here that this is a, you just gotta, I love TD Jakes. And, go watch him, follow him on Twitter. You just can't go wrong with him. Destiny is not for comfort seekers. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and, kind of give my own little Fibonacci version of kind of I guess what you would call spiritual warfare. There's TD Jakes says you face your greatest opposition when you're closest to your biggest miracle. And I think one reason why I love TD Jakes is his story of where he came from and just the amount of pure hell that came against him, and how he's a classic example of the hero's journey of bringing his pain and letting God transform it, and he's blessing people. And and he's so right when he says it's not for comfort, that destiny is not for people who are craving comfort. And I want to speak specifically to conflict and battle, and you cannot have victory without conflict. And most of the Old Testament is about war. So let's learn from a warrior, T.D. Jakes. And let me kind of show you. This is kind of my own thing. I love boxing, and this is. Let me show you an example of 3 times Mike Tyson looked invincible. I want to show you something here. And just kind of think of this in a, what do you want to call it? Parable, Now this is Mike Tyson fighting. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, how did you go from T.D. Jakes to Mike Tyson? Well, I'm talking about spiritual warfare, and I'm talking about overcoming battles. In fact, let me show you a passage here. It talks about we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities or evil. And I think as a Jesuitian or as a spiritualist, I believe that it's so true that we are fighting, or we are wrestling against flesh and blood, not against rulers and authorities. And so, do we really believe that? Have we accepted a culturally sanitized, sensitized faith, which says, let's just all be nice and sweet and have unicorns and be nice and make sure that we keep our wives happy and make sure that we mow the yard? And are we living in sort of the bullshit unicorn glitter, or are we reading the Bible? And just read the Psalms. What's cosmic power and spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places? And do we believe that? Well, I do. And so and that's straight out of the Bible. And that's one reason why I love T.D. Jakes, and I love fighters, and I love Mike Tyson. I grew up watching Mike Tyson with my granddad. And let me show you a real life example of spiritual warfare. And this is 3 times Mike Tyson looked invincible. Let me show you something here. Notice how not only is he the, let me just watch this. Look at that. I want to show you something here. They're going to show it again. I want to show you that. This is Mike Tyson. Notice he's avoiding it. Notice not only is he a gifted, amazing fighter, but notice it was how low and how humble, and how he had to learn how to avoid getting hit. So I think, we can learn so much from people like Mike Tyson, where it's like, there's learning how to throw a punch, but there's also learning how to avoid a punch. Watch this. This is one of the few times, one reason why I really like that. It's one of the few times you see Mike Tyson clown. Never, you'll see Mayweather do this, but watch this. This is him avoiding a punch again. Boom. Again, going back to Ephesians, learning how to battle. Is there a place in our faith? Do we have a place in our spiritual paradigm? I hate to overuse that word, but Stephen Covey said it perfectly. Have we accepted a paradigm where it's glitter and sweet, but are we learning how to fight? Watch, you'll see him clown. You'll rarely. How many times have you seen Mike Tyson? He's like, dude, come on. It's like, I got you. I got you. Look, he's avoiding and throwing. So how can we learn? How can we learn from Tyson? And that is in your spiritual path, whether it's whatever it is, whether your spiritual path is emanating and bringing forth something in a business or in your life, in your spiritual world, and maybe it's a goal you have, maybe it's in your art, maybe it's in your just a goal. We have to learn how to make progress, but also avoiding the hits. And so with Mike Tyson, notice that his giftedness is his defense too. His defense, and we could talk about getting into the Word and praying the Psalms, and the Bible speaks of itself as being a sword. So we have to learn how to war. It's as simple as that. We have to learn how to war. So let me show you the final one with Mike Tyson. Watch this. This is amazing. Mike Tyson. Notice it's the duality between throwing punches. Watch this. This guy's totally just covered up. His take is like, okay, I can't win. And then he opens up. Boom. Watch this. He's missing. He's making a miss. Boom. Look at that. Learning how to fight. Learning how to fight. Spiritual warfare. And I never grew up hearing about learning how to fight. I grew up without a dad. I grew up with my grandma. I never learned how to fight. I didn't learn how to fight in the spiritual realm. Look, how do you make the enemy miss like that? Some people just avoid the ring altogether. Watch this. He's just missing left and right. I'm going to show you something from T.D. Jakes. Watch this. Now, boom. Boom. Okay, so let me show you a tactic from T.D. Jakes. This is the master, another master.
I hear everything you said, and I received a bit of a breakthrough, but I still have doubts about, like, who am I? Who am I to think that I'm so great? Who am I to think that I can accomplish great things? But I want to. But I get paralyzed with fear.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because this is a subject that I think people do not understand. When people see other people who have great accomplishments, they assume that they have no fear. The reality is, you got to feel the fear, baby girl, and do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. If you are waiting for your feelings to line up with your decisions, your life will always be on hold. You don't have to ask your emotions to give you permission to be who you were created to be. Everybody has some angst, some fear, some negative voice saying, who are you? But some people rebuke it,
Yes.
and other people birth it. The difference between rebuking it and birthing it is how long you nurture the thought. The thought comes like a your mind. You can either incubate it, carry it through 3 trimesters, and birth it into a failure, or you can say, this is not mine, it's not on my agenda, I reject it, and I'm going to continue on my course.
You hear that? Listen to this. Listen.
Created to be. Everybody has some angst, some fear, some negative voice saying, who are you? But some people rebuke it, and other people birth it. The difference between rebuking it and birthing it is how long you nurture the thought. The thought comes like a seed in the womb of your mind. You can either incubate it, carry it through 3 trimesters, and birth it into a failure, or you can say, this is not mine, it's not on my agenda, I reject it,